Alrighty, let's go ahead and get started. I think I'm gonna like this picture today. You're standing inside of a barn, you're looking out. These are big barn doors right here. I know I have a thing with barns. I do, I like them. I like painting them. Well, this is on the inside. I usually paint them, looking at the outside. So this is something different. This is a very small sky today. I do have liquid white just right here. That's it. Liquid white helps your paints blend if you don't know what that is. And we're just going to do a simple little sky. I'm going to have, I think, background trees right in here. I'm going to blend this up here in just a second with 2-inch brush. I'm not even sure how far to bring it down right now. I almost hate to dirty up a 2-inch brush just for that little bit, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Let's see if this thing's kind of stiff. Okay, let's start in the bottom and work our way up here. We're just gonna do crisscross strokes like we normally do. There's nothing spectacular about the sky today. It's just here. Nice and clear sunny day. I think that's it. That's all I want. I'm going to grab me a great big brush. This is a number 4 round. I use round brushes a lot. I'm going to go ahead and start outlining some of these doors. Let's get us a little bit of a mix. Let's take some black. Let's take some Prussian blue, some white, a little bit of brown. Okay, I mean this is okay. I want a grayish tone. That's not too bad to start with. Let's see. Let's mark these doors out where I had them. I think they came down like this. I like paintings like this because I like stuff that looks a little different. I like painting objects apparently because I do it all the time. Some people, I don't even intentionally do it. That's just what I'm drawn to is objects. I'll paint landscapes once in a while just with no objects in it, but man, I really don't like to be honest. It's just, I don't know, I just like painting objects no matter really what it is. Okay, let's just grab some random stuff like we typically do. Here's some alizarin crimson. Alizarin crimson. Burnt umber, which is brown. I just mix things right on the canvas half the time. Let's throw a little white in. Oh, a little Prussian blue because this is on the inside. It's a little darker. Look at I got a black and white picture I'm looking at right there. I try not to use too much of my color ink because I print these pictures off. I find something I like. It might be cheaper just to do black and white. The only problem with it is black and white. I have no color on it, so we got to make up our own color as we're going along. Let's throw some white in. I think I got a board running down here. I think that's okay. Let's take some raw umber, Prussian blue. I'm pretty sure there's a board or something right here on this edge. Raw umber, Prussian blue. It's a real dark color. I put them right side by side because I mix them together so much for shadows and dark areas. You can also use black. This is all dark all up through here. Let me get my 1-inch brush real quick. Let's mix some of this up. See how far off on our collar we are. I think it should have been more brown. I can see that already. That's okay. We're just putting color down. No big deal. It'll wind up the color we want it, whatever color that may be. take a brush and hit this edge. Get me a brush. Yeah, it needs to be more, I would like it to be more brownish. And so that's what we're going to do. This, by the time it's all said and done, I think I want it more brown. But I'm not going to do it today. I'm going to let this sit overnight. Yeah, maybe I'll throw a little more brown in here. Might help with the next layer. Okay, it looks a little better. That's not too bad. Let's go ahead. I went ahead and finished that door like I said I would. Let's go ahead and throw some, let's put some darkness back there for our background trees. I'm just going to take some black with a touch of sap green. Let's do something. Let's just go ahead and throw something back here. I mean, I might change my mind later about how this looks. I don't know, but for now, let's just go ahead and do it. I got my palette sitting down over here so I can hang on to this canvas so it don't jar too much while I'm filming. You want them different heights, different sizes. For now, I think I'm just going to leave that alone. I might come back at the end of the day, I don't know, and put something else in there. Or put some highlights on it, I mean. Let's go ahead and throw something in here. I haven't made my mind up yet. I might have a little road coming out. But we know this is some kind of a field. Maybe like a hay field, perhaps. And that's what we're going to treat it as of this moment. I might change my mind. I do it all the time, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you think something looks better and you want to change it, go ahead and change it. So let's start. My brush is really dirty, and that's why I'm starting with, one reason I'm starting with this pure cad yellow light. My brush is really dirty. I'm not kidding you. This is the brush I use to put this stuff on. Let's just throw some random stuff in. This is I like doing things this way. I mix colors right on the canvas a lot of times. Is that the best way? I don't know. I mean, that's how I do it. Maybe it's not the best way. I don't know. But whatever works for you, that's what I say. This is burnt sienna. It's a color I've started using a lot when I paint a field like this. I'm not really sure why, other than I think maybe it looks good. That's probably the only reason. Let's take some sap green. And as you know, as things come closer, they get a little darker. This is sap green that I'm using right now. And this is dark down in here because we're inside of a barn. We're looking out into the light. So inside is actually dark. And it does look like there's grass in here a little bit. Let's take our 1-inch brush. It's dirty, and that's okay. We just don't care about that right now. Let me go ahead and we're going to get stuff all over the door, and we're going to get it everywhere. You don't have to be neat when you put your first coat down, as you can tell, because you're going to get stuff all over the place. Let's see here how this is looking. Not too bad, I guess, for the first round. First round of several. Let's go ahead and do this header. This is part of the barn. It's going to be dark, real dark. I might even use a lot of black on this one. This up in here is really dark. Let's take some raw umber. I'm trying to use up all my collars that I have in my palette so they don't go to waste. Let's take a little bit burnt sienna and yellow ochre and mix it together just to lighten it a touch, especially toward the bottom of it, especially down here near the bottom. Oops, I think I got down a little too far there. Try not to get it in my sky. Kind of gotta go a little slower here. I don't want it in my sky, that's for sure. Yellow ochre and burnt sienna here, especially at the bottom. Yeah, a little light reflection, if that's the word for it. It doesn't have to be neat. You don't need a straight line. I don't want it straight. It's an old barn. Okay, that's not too bad. I like that yellow ochre and burnt sienna there. Just work your way up. All the way to the top. All the way up. Okay, that's probably enough for today. All right, let's go ahead and put some grass in. This painting's been sitting around for about a week, man. I've been busy. Look, it's pretty much dry. But you know how life is, man. I'm sorry I haven't been putting videos out as much as I normally do. But I mean, sometimes you just can't help it. I just been real busy. But we're going to go ahead and put some grass in. I'm going to mix it some little ochre. Here's my palette. We're going to do some ochre. Throw some ochre up in here. This is a big fan brush that I'm using here today, of course. As I said before, I can't really keep fan brushes. I don't like using this big of a fan brush. This is a number 10. That's a big fan brush for this. But I got to use them somewhere. So I might as well use them on grass or hay. We'll say this is hay, because I think I might put some straw bales out there, I believe. Let's take some burnt sienna. I'm just going to throw it in just for some added color here and there. Just for something different. You know, colors are good. Just throw it in and mix it in. Throw it in and mix it in. Just something different. Now let's start throwing in a little bit of green. Start throwing in a little bit of green. The closer something gets, the darker. Besides that, we're in a barn and we're looking out. So it's going to be dark in here anyway. So we're going to transition to darker colors as we're getting closer. I want to do the grass because see I'm getting it on the barn doors, and that's okay. Let's take some Prussian blue, because now we're really getting into the dark area. Prussian blue. Let's take some Prussian blue Mix it with a little bit of alizarin crimson. Look how dark that is. It's supposed to be dark in here anyway. Prussian blue, alizarin crimson, especially down here inside this barn. Real dark. And we're just going to keep messing with it here till we get it the way we like it. I may put a little bit of highlight on this so it's not completely dark. Let's take a little yellow ochre. Just kind of splash a little bit of something around in here just to lighten it a little. That's probably not too bad for right now. Not bad. Let's get ready to do some barn doors. Okay, this was our first coat. We were just we put color on the canvas the very first day. This is dry, which is good. Let's get our doors about the color that we want to keep them. Let's just take some random colors here. I have some phthalo blue, black, brown, white. This is pretty bluish looking. I don't know if I want it that blue, but we're just going to throw colors in. Actually, that's not bad. We're just going to throw colors. We're going to go over this door again and try to get it as close as we can to the colors that we actually want to keep, that we want it to be. First day we just kind of threw stuff on here. And we're just randomly throwing stuff in here. But that's a pretty good color right there. I like it. Let's take some burnt sienna, which is kind of an orangish tone. Okay, let's go back to this collar. Let's go down the side of this door if we can. Try to trim it out a little bit. Go along this edge. Gotta make sure where I'm going here. Right down this edge. Okay. Yeah, this is not a bad color. This is kind of a bluish gray. Not bad at all, really, for a barn door. Go along the top. Just do a little trimming here while we're at it. So we don't want to get it into our sky or grass. Okay, let's see what else here. Let's take some more sienna. Throw a little sienna in. We're going to have crisscross boards on here also. Let's stand back and look at it. That's what I'm trying to do. Stand back and take a look. Let's take some raw umber, which is a little darker. Throw some darkness in here on occasion. Little darkness here and there. Yeah, you just randomly grab stuff and throw it in. That's usually what I do. This is alizarin crimson. Okay, let's take a little phthalo. Let's see how much. I don't want to get too much blue in it, but let's see here. Let's look. Maybe a little here and there. Just a sprinkle here and there. Okay. Well, that's not looking too bad right there. Let's do a little brown. Do a little brown up in here. Standing back looking. Okay, that's not too bad. Not too bad for what we're doing here. All right, let me switch brushes. Let me go ahead. Let's see. Okay, I'm trying to visualize what I'm going to do here. Let's take some brown, some white. Let's go ahead and put in some of these vertical boards, so to speak. I think I'm going to start right here. And if you mess up, it's okay. The paint's wet, so if you mess up, you're really not messing up because you can fix it. Let's look at my picture up above my head here. Okay, this don't look too bad. Now let's go ahead and do the bottom. It comes all the way down here. Okay, that's all right. I went past my door on purpose. So I went past it there. You don't want things even and pretty. This is a barn. That's not what you're trying to do. Okay, now this one. This has to come from here and go all the way down to here. Brown, white, for now. I mean, that's what we're starting with. Brown and white. Okay. Now let's make some boards here, some lines for the boards. I'm going to take raw umber, I think. Okay, in the picture here I'm looking at, I have at least 3 big fat boards. Oh, let's see, let's start right here. We're just going to make some lines. I'm twisting my brush as I'm coming down to keep the paint flowing. This is going to represent cracks in the board. Okay, raw umber. Let's see here. This is a pretty wide boards, apparently. One there. Run it all the way down. Continue on. Since I got this in my hand, let's go ahead and let me look here a minute. Okay. Let's just go ahead and trim a little bit of this since we're at it. This will be the top edge of this board. Okay. This will be dark here. This will be dark underneath. Since I got this brush in my hand, we'll just go ahead and do this. This is dark here. Just making us a shadow, so to speak, right there. Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep working on this. I'm going to do this one off camera the same way I did this one. And I will be right back. Alright, it looks like we're nearing the end. I put a pitchfork right here. 3 bales of straw, and I'm going to put some shadows on here now. I'm going to set my palette down over here. Oh, let's start. Let's see what this gives us. We want say the light's coming down this way. Just need a little bit of a shadow. This is a very small fan brush right here. You don't want to go crazy with it, but you do want somewhat of a shadow. I'll bring some shadow up on this straw a little bit. This is just Prussian blue with some raw umber. More raw umber than Prussian blue. And we're just about done with this one. I think that's probably okay. Stand back and take a look at it here. Yeah, I think this will be good enough. Here we are.